Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel and another one of my book ramblings. Let's jump right into it. Am I the only one who just doesn't really like The Alchemist? I just read it, and this book follows Santiago, who travels from Spain all the way to the pyramids because he has this dream that there is a treasure by the pyramids, and he meets a king who sends him on his way with some advice, and he runs into all sorts of adventures. And this is a self-help book dressed up as a little fable, and as most self-help books go, I just didn't find it very meaningful or helpful. It made me think of, if any of you have been watching Loki, it just made me think of Loki saying that he has a glorious purpose and it means nothing and it's not helpful. That's what this is. Santiago keeps talking about his personal legend, and that if he keeps trying for his personal legend, things will work out and the universe is going to conspire to help him. And I don't know. With self-help books, I feel like the ones that actually work are the ones where I can take something concrete and improve my life. A bunch of stuff about staying true to yourself and really focusing on what you want and realizing that the world is inside of you and you are inside of the world, none of that means anything to me. So I didn't really like this. I didn't really get it. If you got something out of this that you feel like it changed your life in a concrete way, please give me an example, because I just couldn't see how this was supposed to do anything. As the story goes, meh, but I think most people read this as a self-help book. So let me know your thoughts on this one, because I know this is a fairly famous book. So the book Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo follows 12 different characters, which seems like a lot. And the majority of these are women, Black and British, and it follows each of their lives, different generations, different time periods. You could almost just read one chapter and not have to read all of it, because each chapter is very complete in its sketch of the person. But what I thought worked really well with this book is that each of the characters, somehow their life touches upon some of the other characters, and it felt very cohesive, and it felt like it all came together really well. So I thought this was really beautifully written, really well done, and gave a lot of looks into different people's lives, and gave a very holistic type approach to viewing people. I feel like some of these characters, if you just met them on the street, you could really narrow them down to one thing, kind of see a caricature of them, if you will, and you might look at one character and say, she's just bigoted and mean-tempered, and this one's old-fashioned and doesn't understand things, and this one's just trying too hard to be different. And you could think that, but the author does a really good job at kind of giving you a all-over look at these lives, a very realistic portrayal where you can realize that people aren't just one thing. They have a vast and enriching life, even if they have some of those things or are small-minded or whatever else. And I thought it was really beautifully written and really well done. Okay, Illuminae is the first installment in the Illuminae files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And I'm excited to read the next one, so I'll let you know how the next two go. But to start out with, this was really fun. We have Katie breaking up with her boyfriend Ezra in the morning, but by the afternoon they are on army ships running away from an invading evil corporation. So we get a bit of Star Wars back and forth ship battles. We get a pathogen that's going around and mutating, so we get a bit of zombie kind of thing going on. We also have the ship's onboard computer, and is it an evil AI robot? And so we get a lot of different genres, and it's told through a very interesting device. It's told through files. So these are emails, maps, files, IMs, medical reports, etc. And they're compiled, and that's how it's told. So it's a limited perspective. I feel like it worked really well for this type of book. This was a really fun book. You get all those different genres. It is exciting. You want to know what happens. I feel like the limited perspective does make it hard for me to feel like I connected well with the characters. I mean, Katie and Ezra have this relationship going on through IM, and we're supposed to kind of feel for her, but I never really felt invested in that as a reader. But the rest of it was so engaging and fun that I didn't mind so much. I am excited to see if that develops a little better come the next book, so I'll let you know. But I do recommend this one. I thought it was a really fun sci-fi zombie book, so I really enjoyed it. Oh, and thanks to JJ for the recommendation. Please, anyone, keep the recommendations coming. I really do appreciate them. The Someday Birds by Sally J. Pla follows Charlie, who is neurodivergent and loves birds and chicken nuggets. And we follow him. His father was injured in Afghanistan, and it has to be transported across the country for medical treatment. So he and his siblings and a mysterious woman go on a road trip across the country to go see their dad, and they stop at all sorts of fun sites, and on the way Charlie wants to find all of the birds that he has wanted to see someday. He has a list of someday birds and he wants to see all of them. So this book, I think, had some really good things in it. I don't think it was particularly memorable or the best book I've ever read, but I thought, especially for a middle grade novel, it handled a lot of difficult subjects very delicately, and it was well balanced. They showed Charlie, who is not neurotypical, possibly on the autistic spectrum, and it showed his quirks and his difficulties, both as things that were challenging for him, but as also things that really made his life better. And I feel like it was a nuanced and well-balanced view of someone who may not be neurotypical. And I thought that was really well handled, and he wasn't treated as the butt of a joke or anything. I thought that was really well done. It also handles subjects such as death, injury, war in a very good way of presenting it as these are the facts and this is what's happening, but also an appropriate way for maybe a younger child. So I thought this was a really good book. I do recommend it if you want something a little bit lighter but still with some meaning. I thought it was really cute. If you liked The Princess Diaries or What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes in it when you were a kid, you're gonna love these next two books. I read Tokyo Ever After by Amiko Jean and Heiress Apparently by Diana Ma, and they both have very similar vibes to that. So Heiress Apparently follows Gemma, who graduates high school and decides she wants to take a year off to pursue acting. Within a few months of trying to find acting roles, she gets the lead in a new movie. And I know that seems really unrealistic to me too, but there is a catch. Everything is going to be filmed in Beijing, and Gemma's parents have told her that she is never to go to Beijing. And so Gemma, of course, goes off to Beijing for her big break, just doesn't tell her parents. But when she gets there, she finds out that she is part of an uber rich, high up family in China, and her mother was disowned many years ago. So she has to go between figuring out a new family dynamic, figuring out what happened with her mother, and at the same time filming a movie and staying true to herself. So that's a lot of fun. In Tokyo Ever After, we have Izumi, who she never had a dad, and one day in her senior year of high school finds out that her dad is actually the crown prince of Japan, and she goes out to Japan and has to learn how to become a princess and learn a whole new culture and a language. And basically it's the exact plot of Princess Diaries. Both of these books were really great at giving you a little glimpse into these different cultures. So If you want to learn about Japan, this is a nice, good, soft entry point. If you want to learn about Beijing, we've got some of that. So it's good about giving some history of the locations. Both of them have some cutesy love stories and a lot of family dynamics and that kind of princess fantasy of, oh, maybe I'm a secret princess too. So a lot of fun if you have a secret princess wish. I think the Heiress Apparently succeeded a little bit more. It brought a little bit more of a uniqueness to this kind of genre, where Tokyo Ever After was very predictable and very straightforward. Heiress Apparently did have that movie timeline going on where Gemma was trying to stay true to herself in a movie, and I feel like that brought up a lot of good ideas on how Asians are portrayed in media and how we can improve representation and not use people as the butt of a joke. And I thought that the social commentary in Heiress Apparently made it a little bit more deep than Tokyo Ever After, as well as the romance seemed a little more organic versus the one in Tokyo Ever After. Tokyo Ever After has some really cute, sappy moments, but a lot of it is exchanging poems that they've written each other, and if anybody just handed me a poem out of the blue, I'd probably laugh. Like, I have a hard time taking that super serious. So Heiress Apparently worked a little better for me, but both of them have a lot of similar elements, a lot of I'm secretly a princess kind of vibes, and both of them end with cheesy corniness where things work out that obviously should not have, you know, very convenient, very something's falling out of the sky and gonna fix everything. But I think that's what they're going for on these young adult fluffy books. So I liked both of them. Probably nothing mind-blowing, but pretty solid. Well, thank you for listening to my book ramblings. If you have any opinions on these books, please let me know. And if you have any recommendations, I would really appreciate them. Thank you, as always, to the beautiful and talented editor, Sydney. And if you want to check out her Instagram, it will be linked down below. And I will see you all on the next one.